Everybody, it's Robbie, Missouri Worm Supply. This next video from the Arizona Worm Business Conference is Miss Angela with Growing in the Garden. She has a great YouTube channel out there. Her talk and presentation has to do with social media and marketing your business on social media. This is a great video to watch. Pay attention to it. Again, follow her too. She's got great stuff on her videos.
People. Yeah. Yes.
Do you have to worry about, like, if you see an article you like on someone else's page or something and, like, resharing someone else's content or copyright or, like, are you going to piss anyone off?
So as long as you would give credit, generally if they're posting it on social media, it's okay to share it, but that's a good point. You don't want to steal someone's content, steal someone's videos. I don't repost other people's videos generally, but what you can do is, like, for example, Zach did a story or a post that I really liked. I shared it to my story and it showed clearly that it was from Arizona Worm Farm, or you can tag them. And generally people like that. I wouldn't post that into your feed necessarily as your own, because that is not as good, but posting it to your story is okay.
As long as it shows, like, that person's name or something.
Yeah,
like,
so when you share that, you're not creating it, you're not, screen recording it and pretending it's yours. You're saying, I'm sharing this from someone else, and then tagging them in it. And then I think that it's generally, that's what I like people to do. I want people to see that and have it be something that they want to share. And if they share it from my post, then that's okay.
I will, again, I said this yesterday, but you have my blanket permission to use our post under your name. I am not interested in followers in your market. They're not useful to me. I'm compulsive about a lot of stuff, but I'm not compulsive about the number of followers that we have. If you see something that you like of mine, you have my blanket permission to use it, post it under your name as your content.
I would also try, as you're thinking about your business, and if you look at Zach, the way he's set up the worm farm, he's made a lot of things very shareable, right? He's got the worms that you can touch. And so, when people come over here and do that, and they get videos of themselves touching these worms, not everyone can just do that anytime. And so when they do, it's really fun. Where they've got the cute little things for the kids, and they've got the signs and the different things like that. Make your place of business shareable, so that when people come here, they want to tell people about it. They want to say, you know what, I spent a morning at the worm farm. It was great. And so then they are creating content for you, and then you reshare that on your platforms. And then it's a win-win for both of you.
Robbie was making fun of me, but I'll bet you $1, one or two of you have posted that picture already, right? So that's not why I did it. But we put our logo and our name up on a lot of this stuff that's Instagrammable. There's a cutout. I don't know if you saw it, but there's a cutout where you can stick your face in and have your picture as a worm. 60, maybe 50% of the people who come down to the farm for their first time take their picture in that, and it's got my name on it, and they share it, and that helps us build one person, one click at a time. It helps us connect with our customers.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, in the very back, and then I'll get to you.
I'm just curious of, like, your actual background. Like, I'm all about, like, I know Zach. He can make a worm out of anything.
Right.
But, like, as far as gardening with you.
Sure.
As far as your website and everything.
Okay, so I moved to Arizona in 2008, and that's when I started gardening. I'd always kind of wanted to. I'm a mom of 5. I've kind of raised my family, still raising one of them. But when we moved here, I finally had room to garden, and so I started gardening and struggled. It was very difficult. I would learn a little bit, and I'd go to Home Depot and ask them questions, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to my question, but I know that's wrong. So it was hard, because it was a real struggle to find correct information. And so for me, then I found the Master Gardener classes through the University of Arizona. That was in 2015. I'd begun to have some success, but then took those classes in 2015. And really, I was like, okay, now I know where to look, because I'm getting these classes from people at graduate level knowledge that have all this information. but there's no trickle down. It's really hard to find this information, and when I find it, it's very difficult to understand. And so from that point, I actually started writing articles for the Master Gardeners. And so then I had this collection of articles, and my sister-in-law was like, well, first she said you should be on Instagram. And I was like, I don't know. So I started posting pictures on Instagram because my friends were sick of seeing my garden pictures, so I created Garden Instagram. But then I had all these articles I was writing for Master Gardeners. My sister-in-law again said, you really should start a blog with those. And so I started a blog, and my focus really was, here's 5 tips for how to grow this and how to grow it well, rather than read this, college level article and try and decipher it to figure it out. It was, give me the facts and what I need to know to grow this. And so that's really where that began. And again, been posting on social media, Instagram for a while, and it really just organically grew. I had no intention of creating a business, creating any of this, but as my kids have grown up, and I've had most of them leave now, I love what I do. So I'm really passionate now about finding correct information, because I remember that person who was struggling. I wanted so bad to be successful gardening and did not know where to look to find the answers. And so I don't want people to have that. So that's who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to that person who wants to garden but doesn't know where to look to find the answers. So that's what I do.
I feel like most people post it's like a last minute thing. I feel like there's not like a lot of thought of it, but now listening to you, I feel like always, your information is like actually like, I obviously your information is correct, but you put some thought into it. When you see people posting, most people are like, oh, let's just post it, and they run out and do something, and that, I feel like that's...
And that can be frustrating, because some of those posts will do really well. And I see that too, where I see people post stuff and I'm like, that is not gonna work. Good luck with that. But those posts, people are like, they glom onto that because there's something exciting or, hacky about it. But I think, again, what goes back to provide value, consistently show up, provide good information, and then the numbers will take care of themselves if you have good principles. What was your question, sir?
Do you offer paid online classes or no?
Yes, so I have a monthly online class. It's through Patreon called Growing in the Garden Academy that I teach a class to them every month. Yeah, and that's another way. I would also say find ways to build community. That's another, it's another income stream, but it's also another community that is my community,
And maybe a follow-up. What is your main income stream?
My main income stream, I would say I have a few. So it's my blog, Patreon, Amazon, the Worm Farm, a couple of other affiliates, YouTube. So you just kind of have these different, and they go up and down depending on things, but that's kind of a general idea right there. Any other questions?
I had a conversation, I think it was with Ari last, are you in Chicago? Are you in Chicago? Yeah, Chicago. And you told me, yeah.
Hey guys, if you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Yesterday that there's no worm farm in the Chicagoland area, which means that there's nobody talking about castings in Chicago. There's nobody on a regular basis saying to people in Chicago, you can farm, you can garden better, you can grow better, you can consume your waste. That's tens of millions of people that are dying to hear from you, and that's a unique sort of a skill.
That is all over the place. I am shocked that it is. San Jose is enormous. How am I the worm guy? So in every town, every big market that you're near, you are the worm guy, the worm girl.
And what Angela does that a lot of the people that we follow don't do. Angela tells you how to grow a tomato in Phoenix, Arizona. So Home Depot stocks their starts from Atlanta, and which is fine, but you don't start tomatoes here in June, and that's when they show up in Home Depots here. And so if you go into Home Depot in June they got busloads of tomatoes. And if you buy those, you're going to be very unhappy. But if you follow Angela's blog, she'll tell you when to start it indoors, when to start it outdoors, how to prune it for Phoenix, Arizona. And that's why her followers are so useful to us, because they're here. If you tell a story about how you should do this in Chicago, I don't know when spring is in Chicago. I'm guessing it's April or May, maybe. Spring here is, February 11th. But if you start telling a story about springtime in the Chicago area, I mean, money back guarantee, there are tens of thousands of people that are going to want to grow tomatoes in their backyard in the Chicago area that are not getting advice from somebody local to do that. You have the opportunity to be that trusted expert, and it's going to work. Because that's the other part of, if you do what Angela says, you'll have a successful garden. If you come down here and take one of our classes and buy our starts and use our castings, you'll have a successful garden. And that's what people want.
So, and as there is more and more saturation within social media, there's so many people, I think it really is. I mean, you may not have the ginormous following, which doesn't matter. If you have those people that you're speaking to, that you're helping in your market, that's the voice that matters. If you become that voice to them, that's who they're going to come to. And because the science backs you up. I mean, what you're doing is wonderful. Worm castings are amazing. It's not hard to share about the good things that they do. So they need to learn it. They need your specific voice and what you have to offer. And I don't think numbers matter. I think you become that trusted source, and you consistently show up and back up your product. And if something goes wrong, you make it right. And eventually, it won't be overnight, but eventually you will build something beautiful. I love what Zach has created here. I am so grateful every day that the Phoenix Valley has Arizona Worm Farm. It wasn't here before. He created it, and now we have this amazing resource that when I'm speaking to a group of people at the library and they say, where do I get this? I say Arizona Worm Farm, and I tell them it's like Disneyland for gardeners. It is. I'm like, it's my favorite place. Go there. You will love it. And I can say that without hesitation. So become that. It won't happen overnight, but believe in what you're doing and go for it. You can do it. There's obviously, I mean, the science is there. It's good things. Yes.
Okay. I've seen your YouTube videos, and they're so well organized, and you're so succinct in your verbiage and everything. Can you walk me through your process on how you decide once you decide on the topic you want to cover? What is your process in prepping before you start videotaping?
It is a lot of work. It really is. So I'm filming next Friday, and I'm starting to think about what I'm going to do on those days. So right now I'm filming a series of what to do. I'm redoing these. I've got these old videos that I did 5 years ago, but right now I'm working on a new, so it's what to do in the garden every month. And so I'm going through, and it really is writing, gathering as much information as I can. So my first process is I'm going to all of my trusted resources. I'm looking back through my garden journals as part of my Patreon membership. I send out a garden journal. I'm going back through all of those garden journals for that month. I'm looking and getting as much information as I can, having it be organized, and then there's the organization of that, and then kind of creating a script, but then also gathering, do I need tomato starts? Do I need soil? And gathering all of those things. So there's a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into that. You don't have to do it that way. It can be more just off the cuff, but I do focus on being concise and providing a lot of information. So there's just different ways to do it, but yeah, that's how I do it.
So that was one of my questions
Yeah.
for the YouTube videos. If there's one person on YouTube that you follow to figure out how to make the best video as far as like filming and voice, is there someone that you like to follow? Because there's 1,000 people that.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good question. I actually don't watch a lot of YouTube. I probably should watch more to get some ideas. So I'm probably not the best one to ask for that. I just kind of am in my lane and do my thing. I should probably watch more, but no, I don't have someone I would. Yeah, I just kind of do my thing. So yeah. Any other questions? Oh
Do you
yes.
do your own editing, or do you
So in the about a year and a half ago, I hired a videographer that comes out and helps, and he does the initial edit. I will go back in and add text and B-roll. But yeah, I have someone that comes out and shoots for me a couple times a month.
Don't let that be a barrier to
Yeah,
you.
I haven't always done that.
I will tell you that some of my best videos, so we hire interns here, and they're really good with iPhones.
Yeah.
And so a 19-year-old can get you what you need to do to get started. They can help you with captioning and stuff like that. Angela's videographer is very, very talented, and her videos have gotten, they just look really professional. You don't have to,
No,
you don't
absolutely.
that's a someday, that's an aspiration. But today, if you took a 2-minute clip of this is something interesting that people they're just curious about. And so things that you find interesting, things that you want to tell about, just do it, just put it on, and know that it is, for the most part, ridiculously temporal. If you put it out there and you don't like it, 8 minutes from now, nobody's gonna remember it. Nobody's gonna think about it. It's not to say that some videos won't come back to haunt you, but in general, it's a now. They'll look at it. They won't look at it. If you send 4 things by them that they don't like, but they like the 5th one, they'll follow you.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. It doesn't have to be professional. And for me at this point, I feel like my time, I'm trying to make the best use of my time, and that's why I enlist that help. But I have videos that I just set up my tripod. A tripod is a great thing. Set up my tripod and get video of me planting tomatoes. I did that video, 1 million views. So it doesn't have to be that, you never know what that will be. But I would say if you are doing something, get as much content as possible. If there's something that you just do on a daily basis, maybe you take it for granted, but it's something unique and interesting that only any interaction with worms, people love. Yeah.
And if you have kids and they're involved on your farm, put them in the video, and more people will watch it.
Yeah, whatever your feelings are on that, but people do like that, and so
My dogs are way more popular than me. So the dogs do great. We have this U-Scoop compost, which nobody else has. And so every couple of months I post somebody getting U-Scoop compost. And I get 30 or 40 people just like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. And it's worked really, really well to help us build our audience.
And don't be afraid to say the same things over and over. Just because you've said it one time, you feel like I've already put that out there, but really, you look at studies and things, people have to hear it over and over and over, and they have to be ready to hear it. So you may feel like, okay, I'm repeating these same things, but keep repeating those same things, and eventually you'll get the word out. Because I'm shocked when I hear people ask me, what soil do you use? And I'm like, where have you been? But they're new followers or new whatever. And so you really do have to continue to say those things and bring those things to people. Talk about U-Scoop, whatever it is, have kind of an idea of these content. And which is nice because gardening is cyclical, it'll come up and up. I saw one more, yeah.
You didn't really talk much about hashtags.
Okay, hashtags have gone in and out of being helpful. It's easy to ask ChatGPT which hashtags you should use. Don't use a lot. Use less is more. Focus more on your caption. I would say spend more time. Instagram now cares more about the keywords in your caption than it does about hashtags. And so focus on providing value in the video or the carousel, and then have that caption be full of keywords that you're trying to target, and provide information in the caption. Good question.
Do you see anything new coming down the pipe in the next year?
For social media, I really do think authenticity, being authentic and kind of niching down is going to be helpful, because there's so much out there, and just finding someone that is for your area. I feel like your following may not be as big, but if you can really speak to that audience, I think you're always going to be able to provide value. I don't know if that's new or not, but I see the value in that, and people appreciate that.
That's my favorite clipper right now. Wait a couple of
I'll give you an Amazon link for that one. Right? Use my Amazon link.
I think I saw that video.
I love this little for clipping tomatoes, and
I haven't seen it. Let me see that.
it fits in your hand.
Oh.
So if you put your, you just slide.
Am I doing it wrong?
No, you got it. But if you slide your finger in there, this one I was using, and so it's a little, it needs to be oiled, but you slide your
Send
finger in
me a
there. Here, take this one.
Oh.
Okay, we need to transition. You want to ask the last question?
No, I was just saying, I bought those about 2 years ago, and I've been using them since. They're fabulous.
I really can keep these?
Yeah, 100%.
Can I just ask you a
needs to be-
question
it
about
needs to be
scheduling
clean.
your posts?
Yeah.
Do that?
So scheduling your posts, yes, there's all kinds of tools you can do. I am not great at scheduling because I feel like the platforms give you the most opportunity to customize within that platform. So I tend to schedule that, but you can absolutely both schedule content and stuff. Just make sure you have everything ready to go. You don't have typos and things like that. And look, really engage with your audience when you post. So just don't post and then be gone, but engage, answer comments, respond. That's something we haven't talked about, but obviously do that. Yeah.
What would you say is like the sweet spot between the content that's like fun facts, nurture, non-sales content, either an email or on like Instagram or something, versus the percentage of time that you're trying to sell?
For me, I do a lot more educate than sell. I probably err too much on the educate and could sell a little bit more. Zach's a better marketer than I am, so I would say 3 or 4 to 1 at least on that.
Yeah, we try to balance it. It really, I don't have a